Air Adventures of Biggles.
On the way back to the plane, Donald astounds his companions by telling them he has a fair idea where Black Llewellyn's treasure is hidden. Bertie and Ginger, of course, are madly keen to go searching for it at once, although Ginger loses some of his keenness when he learns that it's probably hidden in the weird seaweed cave where he was so frightened a few hours earlier. But Biggles flatly refuses to allow a treasure hunt. He considers it his duty to leave the island and return to England as quickly as possible. When our friends reach the plane, Biggles sets his men to work. But when the repairs are complete, Bertie is missing, and so is Donald Duck. Algy is certain they've gone looking for the treasure.
But they wouldn't do that, Algy. Biggles told us not to.
Nevertheless, they did.
What makes you think so?
Old Donald came up to me a few minutes ago, just before you called me inside. He was very keen to know if I agreed with your order.
And you, as usual, were perfectly honest.
I told him I half agreed with you. You see, in my opinion, the treasure shouldn't be left there for Coleman and his crooks to grab. I think it should be taken back to England and handed over to the authorities. And as we're the only other group on the island, it seems to me that we should do it.
Well, I hadn't thought of it like that. It's quite a logical argument. However, you think Donald took it as an okay to go ahead?
Not quite, but I think it's settled his conscience.
Ah.
He's not interested in the treasure itself, but he's very keen to take it back to England. My ideas must have made up his mind for him.
As I see it, he and Bertie flatly disobeyed Biggles' orders. They had no right to do that.
Now, easy, Ginge. I'm not in a position to order Donald too far. After all, this is his expedition. As for Bertie, well, let's say that he's not the first of my blokes to disobey orders because he thought he knew better. However, I'll have a piece of his ear for it when he comes back. This is bad discipline.
Aren't you going after them?
In a few minutes. The kite's more important. I want to be sure it's ready to run down into the water and take off without delay. When we're happy about that, we'll worry about our treasure seekers.
By Jove, old Ginge was right. This belly cave is a bit creepy.
It's a fascinating place. This is really the most wonderful growth of seaweed I've ever seen. Oh, look at the texture of it, Bertie, and the closely matching stems.
Yes, well, those things don't worry me, old bean. It's what might be behind the belly stuff. Look how far back the cave goes. Almost anything could be squatting in there.
Well, I rather hope we do find something, Bertie. I find the life on this island extraordinarily interesting.
Yes, well, if we do, you can shake hands with it. Sizzling sausages. Did you hear that, Donald?
Yes, I heard some noise, but well, I'm afraid I couldn't identify it.
Look, perhaps Ulysses had better waffle back. I mean to say, the old Biggles bird distinctly dislikes being disobeyed.
Bertie, don't you agree that the treasure should be removed before Coleman lays hands on it?
Yes, but...
Then let's have no more of this foolish talk. Now, pull some of this seaweed clear and we'll try to find it.
Well, we'll pull some of it, old trout, but not all. Distinctly not all. Yes.
Oh, I think I'll have a rest for a while, Bertie. This work is more tiring than I expected.
Yes, I've an even better idea. Let's give up the jolly old treasure business after all. What? I mean, it may be only a fairy story.
Yes, it's true, but something convinces me that it's true. No, Bertie. Now we've come, we'll stay until we've thoroughly searched the caves.
But what about that thing we heard?
Oh, probably some seaweed rustling in a deep corner of the cave.
There it is again. That was no blooming seaweed.
Now, what could it be, I wonder?
I don't know, and I don't very well want to. Donald Olbean, if you have any feeling for the stately homes of England, let us Lucy's waffle back to the plane.
Not until we've found the treasure. I'm rested now. We'll get back to work again, Bertie, and this time I'm sure we'll have more success.
And I always thought Biggles was a slave driver. Oh, it's no use, Donald Elbean.
Bertie! Bertie, I found it! Here, help me with this clump. The seaweed smothering it.
Sizzling sausages. The coins are piled on the ground.
Yes. Yes, that's very natural. The corrosion of the sea would have eaten the wooden chests away. My goodness gracious, Bertie. There must be thousands and thousands of pounds here.
Yes, and probably more under the belly mess. Now, let's rip it all away, Donald. Baked potatoes.
What is it?
That noise.
Oh, that creature in the cave again?
I don't think it came from the cave that
Oh,
time.
my dear fellow, I refuse to believe there are weird creatures surrounding us on all sides. Now, we must work out some way of carrying this money back.
I wonder.
Why on earth are you staring about the cave like that? I'm sure we're in no danger.
Donald, that last noise was different. I have a feeling it was made by a man.
Oh, come now, Bertie.
Well, why not? Coleman and his sausages are likely to be looking for the treasure, aren't they?
Yes, I suppose they could be.
Then there's a chance they trailed us here. Quickly, Donald. Toss some of the seaweed back over the treasure.
But why?
We're going to check on those trouts. Now hop to it, Elbean. Don't want to waste any time. Now, wander out with me casually and don't look back. As we pass the cave entrance, talk as if we didn't find the boodle.
But, Bertie, I simply don't understand what this is all about.
You will, Elbean, you will. Now start trundling. I say, this is a bit of a bally sill, Donald. I mean to say we can't search every inch of the blooming island for the old boy's cash and carry.
No.
Go on, answer me. Tell me why the treasure isn't here.
Well, of course, I think you're expecting too much, old chap. I mean, after all, the treasure's been hidden for 300 years. We mustn't give up hope because it isn't in the first cave we search.
Yes, well, I'm not going to search any more. I'm sick of it. Let's waffle back to Biggles and tell him it was a flop.
Yes, it's most disappointing.
Don't look round, I'll tell you when. If we cut straight over this ridge, we'll be quite close to the kite. Then we won't waste too much blooming shoe leather. Sizzling sausages, I'm tired.
Yes, I am too. By all means, let's climb the ridge if it'll save time.
Quick, Donald, slip behind this rock. That's the ticket. Now let's see what's going on back there.
Yes, you were right, Bertie. They're outside the cave.
It's Coleman and Benson. I don't think the blighters saw us hide behind the rock.
They seem to be arguing about something.
It isn't hard to guess what, by Jove. Yes, there they go, into the cave.
But they'll find the treasure.
Well, not much we can do about it, Elbean. The blighters must have trailed us here, and they're so bally distrustful they're going to check for themselves.
But we can't allow them to take it away, Bertie. After all, we found
Well,
it.
I can't quite see how we can stop them yet. But I suggest we hang fire until they come out again and see what happens. After all, we did cover the dibs with seaweed.
Yes, I've got no great faith in that. If they search thoroughly, they'll find the treasure under it.
One can never tell, Elbean. We might be here for a while, so there's no point in staying crouched behind the rock. You can stretch the old legs, provided you don't go too far from cover.
Yes, I'll do that if you don't mind, Bertie. I'm rather too old for these pursuits. I say, Bertie, we can see the plain from up here.
Baked potatoes, so we can. And there are the boys waffling about. Oh, they don't seem very worried about us, what?
No. My goodness. That's how we could prevent Coleman from taking the treasure away.
You mean Biggles and the other trout?
Yes. We could call them up here and march straight down on those two scoundrels. Goodness gracious!
That came from the cave.
There's Coleman.
Running for his life, by jingo.
Well, the other fellow hasn't come out.
Donald, there's something horrible happening in there. We'll have to go down.
Help me! For pity's sake, up! Coleman, you famous swine! Don't leave me to it! Help me!
Donald! Look!
Oh, bless my soul!
What is it?
It's a monstrous octopus. It's enormous.
Look, it's got him in one of its tentacles.
Don't leave me! Got him on! He's killing me! I'm suffocated! Help
Keep fighting it. I'll do what I can.
Shots won't affect him, Bertie.
can't stand it! I can't!
It's too late. No one can help the poor fellow now.
Sizzling sausages, we'll have to help ourselves. It's seen us. It's coming this way.
Quite slowly, the enormous jelly-like creature slides across the rocks towards them. Can Bertie and Donald escape its weaving tentacles? Will they dare return for the treasure now? Listen for the thrills in the next chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.